Hey, I'm Mrs. Trouble, a licensed firearm instructor for the DC metro area. Have you ever considered helping your dad pick out a firearm but didn't know where to start? Whether it was for home defense, self-defense, or even just pure fun at the range? Well, I'm here to help you do just that. I've had plenty of students that I've taken to the range to hang out with their parents at the range. And while it definitely is such a cool outing to do with one another, there are times where that outing is actually for a little bit more than just some fun. Sometimes they're there to help their parent actually get a little bit more acclimated to firearm use. As things have changed. The dad may have been a veteran or a retired police officer and just hasn't touched a gun in a very long time. And so now they want to get back into this as a field of a hobby or for self-defense, home defense. Parents go through different phases just like everyone else in their life, and one of those phases is being an empty nester. They no longer have any kids around or young adults around to be there in and out of the home, and they become more of a target for those who intend to do harm. So what better gift to give dad than a sense of security that he knows how to protect himself and his house when he's an empty nester. So today, we're going to go over a couple of the things that is going to allow you to know exactly what things to do and consider when helping dad pick out a gun. First, let's determine what is it that we need this gun for. Are we looking to get a firearm for self-defense? Are we looking for home defense purposes? Or are we looking for simply some fun at the range? And when we consider these three different options, it really helps us to understand what is the purpose of the gun and what type of gun we should actually go for, okay? Now, that is a bit broad, I understand, so let's break each of them down. When it comes to the whole self-defense approach, we're probably looking for a pistol or a pistol that's full size, or maybe even a shotgun for home defense. Some people may even argue a rifle would be good. Well, when it comes to shotgun and rifle, if you don't have land, there's not a big home, then it's probably not the best option. It's probably a better option to get a pistol. Now, in the past, Dad may have had some experience with the 38 Special or maybe a 40 caliber semi-automatic pistol. And these are all things that he may still prefer to do because that's what he knows of. Or, the thing is, things change, right? Sometimes Dad may have some mobility issues where he's not able to handle the recoil of these higher calibers. So maybe you might have to have that talk to say, Dad, well, let's try a 9mm. Let's see if that middle ground right there is a little bit more helpful for you to be able to control the recoil and keep your accuracy. And even if that doesn't work, come down to a 380 and see if that works, because there's plenty of firearms out there, plenty of recoil options out there. You got to kind of figure out which one works best for your dad based on your dad's needs. Is that left-handed? Is that right-handed? Do they have any issues with mobility? Do they have any strength issues? Maybe they had a shoulder injury or an elbow injury or carpal tunnel. Any of these things like arthritis. Any of these things could be a factor as to how well they can rack the slide back with the semi-automatic. So considering those things when we're purchasing the gun is extremely important because we want to make sure we get something that's comfortable for them. Can they take the firearm apart easily? Whereas, some brands require a certain type of takedown lever or a certain tool to be able to take it apart. These are all things that we need to consider when helping Dad pick out a firearm that they're expected to maintain and use. You want them to be able to use it quickly, easily, and comfortably, okay? That's always the goal. When we are considering a firearm for home defense, we might want to consider something that's a little bit more full size for a pistol purpose, because the longer the barrel, the more accurate it will be. If the dad has land or a big home, then maybe a shotgun or rifle might be a good option as well. So the thing is just kind of figuring out what makes sense based on what's the purpose. And if it's fun, well, then just have some fun. The thing is about fun, there's so many different options out there. But obviously, most of us like to hear the big boom or feel the big recoil when we're out there having fun when it comes to firearm use. So you can pick based on that. We also have some other changes that may happen as we get older, such as our sight. Most of us, probably all of us, actually at some point our vision is going to deteriorate. Okay, with that being said, our sighting system is extremely important. You got to make sure that the sighting system is very clear and big enough for dad to see and be able to shoot accurately. So there may be some consideration for getting, instead of iron sights, maybe the red dot or the green dot might be more beneficial, because you just put the green dot or red dot at the target and you take a shot there. So that tends to be easier for most people going through that vision change situation. Now make no mistake, I'm not talking about a laser. So if anyone's not very familiar with the red dot or green dot is, it's on top of the gun where the sights are, where the iron sights normally are, and it normally takes the place of us using the iron dots. Iron sights, I apologize. So when it comes to that though, you have to make sure you pick the color that's best for their vision. I've been told with some people's vision, like if they have an astigmatism, that one of these sightings are not as comfortable. So that's something you also want to consider. What type of sighting system is dad going to get? What actually works best for them? Now, the best way to determine any of these things is just going straight to the range, right? There's so many brands out there to choose from. I'm not going to go ahead and start listing a whole bunch of different brands. I want you guys to tell me what brands it is you're interested in. So if you can go ahead and put in the chat box area what brands or make and model of guns that you think might work best. I'd love to hear back from you. You never know, it might help someone else. Now before we leave today, I just want to recap what we were talking about, making sure you guys know the key tips to leave with. Remember, you want to try it before you buy it. So always go to the range, check it out, see if it's something similar, even if they don't have the exact same one that you want to buy. Check it out, see how it feels in dad's hand, how is dad able to control the recoil, because we want to make sure that that grip is comfortable, and we want to make sure the recoil is manageable, because if not, dad's not going to be accurate with it, and it's probably going to do more harm than help, because he's not going to be able to be accurate with it. So make sure it's manageable and comfortable for dad. Also, the sights. Make sure that dad can see through the sights and line up his sights very well, whether you have iron sights on the gun or whether you have red dot or green dot sighting system. So you have to decide what works well when it comes to that. Also, make sure that you're picking out the correct type of firearm for the correct purpose. Again, for home defense, if it's a pistol, you probably want more of a full size. For self-defense, you probably want something a little bit more compact pistol. And then if it's for home defense and they have a big home or lots of land, then maybe a shotgun or rifle might be the best option. So you have to consider all of these things when picking out dad. And my final tip to give to you is make sure you don't get caught up in a straw purchase. If you don't know what a straw purchase is, it's a federal offense. So please don't get caught up in that type of situation. Make sure that this firearm is in dad's name. The background check, everything needs to be in dad's name. And that way, you're just the person assisting him to purchase and you're just paying for it. Make sure to press that subscribe button and also get notifications, because you need to know when we go live or have new content that comes out to speak to you about the things that you need in our gun community. So stay tuned for more. See you next time.
Shh.